mind telling me where we're going?
I don't mind, if you don't mind spoiling my surprise.
Okay, since you put it that way.
Pete, what do you know about the FCC?
Oh, the Federal Communications Commission? Well, it controls everything that goes over the airwaves. You know, radio, television.
Wonderful. I knew you were just the man for the job.
I thought we already had a first-rate janitor.
We do. What we need is someone to supervise this little addition to our extracurricular activities.
A radio station?
That's right. Well, it's only 10 watts FM. We're not exactly the answer to KABC. But if you knew how long I've been trying to get this thing for us.
How'd you do it?
Well, you see, this month, City College goes AM. So we just happened to inherit their license and their equipment, thanks to Morris Henry.
The school board, Morris Henry?
Same one.
Don't tell me. He's coming up for re-election next month.
Don't get cute, Pete. Just run the station. Okay?
Well, I hate to shake your faith in my technological expertise, but I don't even know how to turn this thing on.
You'll learn. It's nothing. Look, here, bone up on the FCC regulations, and don't panic. I'm providing you with a first-rate qualified assistant.
Who?
Alice Johnson.
Hi, Ken.
How you doing?
Hi.
Oh, hi. How you doing?
Good. Okay, does anyone here know someone with a third-class radio license?
Hey, me. I got one last year.
Ooh, Bernie, I didn't know you were a ham.
Then you're the only one.
All right, man. Come on. You come here and work the thing.
I'm gonna be the disc jockey. Yes, sir, kiddies. This is your resident king of soul, bringing you the tunes to swoon, the beat that's neat, and the jive that's always alive.
No. You're not getting it. The purpose of these study teams is to really dig into local government, visit sessions, ask questions. And I warn you, don't be intimidated by politicians and don't be scared off by their rhetoric.
So what you're saying is dig beneath the words.
Right. And as future voters, find out what's going on behind all of those bureaucratic doors. Well, it's almost time for the bell to ring, so since many of you are going to be at City Hall this afternoon, we'll break early.
Hey, listen, don't forget to tell everybody we start broadcasting this afternoon. See,
Quiet, quiet, everybody. This is it.
You're listening to KWWH 92.5 FM, the voice of Radio Free Walt Whitman High.
Remember radio? This is Racing Jason telling you to keep cool in the motor pool. It's alive and well right here at Walt Whitman High, where music is king and rock is our thing.
Oh, thank you. I'm starving to death.
Well, you better eat on the run. Guess who wants to see you in his office right now?
Pete, it is not that I disapprove of the format you've chosen.
I didn't choose anything. You put me in charge, and I let the students select their own programming.
Will you let me finish my cop-out? Nor is it that I personally may dislike some of that music. But I just feel that we have a responsibility to the public.
What about the students? How much interest do you think there'll be in that station if we start playing censor?
Pete, I wasn't censoring.
Good.
I mean, I was suggesting a little variety in the format, maybe some public service programs.
Maybe we'll integrate some of the work we're doing with local government.
That's fine. See, that's just perfect. I mean, Gad, nobody's ever called me a censor before. That's a terrible word.
Yes, isn't it?
Free milk, free lunch. How about free pot? Yes, this idealistic new generation expects everything to be given to them. Let's not disappoint them.
Mr. Henry?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Henry, don't you think we should discuss this lunch program seriously? To make sure we're all in agreement on what's going on.
What about free matches and a do-it-yourself kit for burning down the school of your choice?
There's your public service programming, Mr. Dixon. Walt Whitman visits a school board.
That's it. We can edit the tapes into 5 5-minute programs.
Yeah.
What you say, Mr. Dixon?
Come on, Mr. Dixon.
Well, you all certainly seem to be enthused about it.
Right. Isn't it our responsibility to let the public know what's going on?
Well, I guess we're about to start some public service programming.
Watch out, Morris Henry. We're going to sock it to you.
You know, something tells me we're about to bite the hand that feeds us.
Take a look at maybe, but not bite.
Oh, really? Am I talking to the same Pete Dixon who once said, somebody's got to knock that phony out of office even if I got to run against him myself?
Yeah, but that was a long time ago.
That was only 2 years ago when Morris Henry was reelected. And Pete, that same perverse little twinkle that was in your eye then is there now.
Mr. Kaufman's office, please. Pete Dixon.
Yes, Pete.
We have that public service program that you wanted, and it's going on the air in 15 minutes. I thought you'd like to hear it first.
I trust your judgment, Pete. I'm really busy right now.
Mr. Kaufman, your noon appointment is here.
Send him right in, please. Pete, I really got to go. I'll talk to you later. Morris, nice of you to drop in.
Seymour, I've only got a minute, but I thought I'd drop by to see how you were doing with the little radio station I presented you with. By the way, I brought along Joe Duggan of the press. Come in, Joe. I thought a little publicity was in order. Never hurts to get your picture in the paper, as long as they spell your name right, huh?
Morris, you're incorrigible.
Go.
Get it, man. You're on.
Anytime you're ready, son. Thank you. That'll be all, Joe. Now, I have to run along, too, Seymour. I'm sorry.
Morris, run along. You just got here. Aren't you even going to see the radio
The way
station?
life is short. As the poet says, I have appointments to keep and miles to go before I sleep.
Morris, you've got a few minutes to hear the noon broadcast.
And a few minutes I can spare if you hurry it up. Where's this loudspeaker here?
Right here, right here.
Turn it on, turn it on. Good. That's good. Good and clear. It's a little loud, but it's clear, isn't it? Now, I've got to go. I've heard all this
will you
before.
just be patient a moment, please? I don't want you to hear just rock and roll. There's a public service program coming on.
Right,
I want you to hear it. I'm anxious to hear it
See,
myself.
I'll listen. Just see if you can hurry him along.
Hi. I have an appointment with Mr. Kaufman about the field trip. I'm afraid he's busy right now. He's in there with Mr. Henry listening to the radio.
Mr. Henry? You mean Morris Henry, the school board?
Right.
Oh, no!
And now, the special public affairs program for KWWH-FM.
In the belief that you, the public, have a right to the facts, KWWH-FM brings you the first of a series of 5 programs on your school board in action. As a part of the civics class project, students from Walt Whitman attended 3 sessions of the school board. What you're about to hear are 3 excerpts from those sessions.
Morris Henry.
What about it?
He's in Mr. Kaufman's office listening to the program. Oh, but don't you think we should cut in and say we're having a technical difficulty or something?
We could, but we're not.
When pressed by board member Loomis for continued debate on the school lunch program, Chairman Morris Henry replied,
How about free matches and a do-it-yourself kit for burning down the school of your choice? I gave you a radio station, and you had the gall to use it against me. You had the gall to attack me politically with my own gift.
Mr. Henry, all our kids did was hold a mirror up to you. Now, if you don't like the image, it's not our fault.
You deliberately edited that program, and my words, to give a false impression and to turn the public against me, and you cannot deny that.
Would you like a rebuttal? We'll be happy to give you the time.
No, thank you. I do not wish to appear on your station. Now, gentlemen, let me make one thing perfectly clear. Game time is over. I'm going to return here at 3 o'clock, and at that time, I want every one of those tapes placed in my hands.
Don't give me any ultimatums, Morris.
All right, let's put it another way, Seymour. There are 8 other high schools in this district which are begging for radio facilities. The decision is yours.
Mr. Kaufman, there are a few calls.
Will you hold the calls for Pete's sake? Oh. I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry.
Well, do we give him the tapes?
We don't. We lose the station. I hate to lose that station.
But the man's wrong. You know what kind of man he is.
I know. I wish I didn't also know that you've been an outspoken critic of his ever since the election.
You think that I'm using that station to attack him?
Had crossed my mind. Are you?
No. I'd like to, but I'm not. You see, I didn't put those words in that man's mouth.
Oh, yeah, Pete, but you know what you can do with tape editing. You know how you can make a man look. Your students edited that tape, and you okayed the final product. You know that if there's any doubt, if you were using those tapes to ruin him politically, you got no right to run them.
You may find this hard to understand, but I've decided to cancel the rest of the series.
I don't get it, Mr. Dixon. Here we done something, not just talk about it, but done something to show the public what's going on. And you're telling us that's wrong.
Not wrong, Jason. Just one-sided.
Translated, that means you're free until you disagree?
No. What it means is that I'm not sure we didn't edit out a little something called objectivity and edit in our own personal feelings about Mr. Henry. I'm not just talking to you, I'm talking to me, too.
Look at it this way. There'll be other programs.
Why bother? They'll just shoot us down again. We know how it is, Mr. Dixon. The classroom's one thing, but the big bad world, that's something else.
Well, for what it's worth, I'm sorry. But, I'll be back here at 3 o'clock to pick up the tapes.
Well, you know what they say. Sometimes we all have to compromise our ideals a little. You know, live to fight another day and all that.
With the disappearance of the buffalo, the Indians' days were numbered. Though many dreamt of the buffalo's return, it was only a dream.
Thank you, Larry. Any questions? Jason?
This isn't about the buffalo. It's about something you said the other day when we were talking about who we can believe.
Go ahead.
Well, the way I interpret what you said is that we got these different loyalties to our parents, to our school, to our country, our job.
That's right.
But sometimes it don't jive. So what I'm trying to say is this. If our first loyalty is to us, and your first loyalty is to you, then you got to do what you got to do. And we got to do what we got to do, right?
That's right. Providing you're willing to pay the price. And there usually is one. Oh, Jason. Just what are you driving at?
I just want to make sure I got the whole message, man.
There you are, Dixon. I'm sure by now you realize what an unkind thing you were trying to do to me. I don't apologize. I just want you to remember one day that it was I who saved you from the worst pitfall in the teaching profession. Ivory tower politics.
I don't believe it.
What's that supposed to mean?
After everything that's happened, you're still trying to get my vote.
Thank you. Thank you. Boys and girls, I understand you have some tapes to turn over to me.
Tapes? What tapes?
The school board tapes Mr. Dixon told you to have here by 3.
I thought he told you, Helen.
Not me. Well, didn't he tell you, Pam?
Who? Oh, that's right. I did have them, but I was late for my Hey, Larry, I gave those to you.
Oh, those tapes. Well, I put them right here. Somebody must have moved them.
Moved them? Copped them. I swear, Mr. Henry, you just can't trust nobody these days.
All right, there, son. I guess the play period is over, and unless those tapes are put in my hands inside of 1 minute, you'll never work in this district again.
Suppose I tell you that we're thinking of making copies of those tapes and handing them over to the biggest station in this town.
You wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't. But if we did, you'd have a much rougher time muzzling them, wouldn't you?
This is your KWWH on the spot where it's hot newscaster, Racing Jason, bringing you this live debate. Switch it, baby.
Do you know what you're doing? You could get expelled for this.
Like the man said, if you're willing to pay the price.
But those remarks were made in jest. I mean, your program makes it sound like I don't want those kids to have decent food.
Do you? Do you really care about the kids who can't afford lunch?
Of course I care. I'm a responsible elected official. But I will not condone freeloaders and massive handouts and irresponsible behavior. That's all.
We gave you a chance to make a rebuttal on the air. You wouldn't take it.
Of course I wouldn't. I have the privilege of choosing the forums for my public appearances, and this Mickey Mouse high school radio station is not... My...
We paused in our debate to bring you this musical interlude.
You knew we were on the air.
As a matter of fact, Mr. Henry, I didn't.
As for you, Kaufman, I want to make this crystal clear. You are going to walk the plank.
Morris, if I get one more ultimatum from you, one more threat to get rid of me, I'm going to jump at the opportunity.
Don't have to jump.
If you will be quiet for a moment, you just might learn that for some reason I will never understand. The gods have chosen to smile on you again. You've come up smelling like a rose from this thing.
What does that mean?
That means that my switchboard has been jammed with calls all day from people that heard the noon broadcast and are dying to hear more.
You crucified me, sir.
I wish I had, Morris. Unfortunately, only half of those people thought that there was anything suspect in your behavior at all. The other half thought that we were the villains for treating you so badly. In fact, even right now, while you were on the air, there were people calling impressed with your willingness to face your attackers head on.
You don't say. Well, where's the microphone? And now, my fellow citizens, in summation, I should like to add that I salute your continued interest in the workings of the school board. I also want to salute these dedicated young people here in this high school and in this radio station who have reminded all of us that the greatest heritage we have in this country, the greatest freedom, is the freedom of speech. And now, before I return to my lonely chambers to toil the long night through with the members of the board,
Before we begin with the team reports, I think we ought to clear the air a little bit after the fireworks.
Fireworks? It felt more like war to me, and we lost.
Just the battle, Jason, not the war.
How you figured that?
Well, I think we learned a little bit about politics, and I think Mr. Henry may have learned what to expect from future voters.
I bet you one thing. We did a number on his head he will not forget.
I think you're right, Pam. Oh, Kim, why don't you tell us what's been going on at the city council meetings?
You think the school board's got a problem. Wait till you hear these tapes.
All right, now tell me this. We talked about the anti-settlement law earlier in the term when we were into the Texas Revolution. Does that relate to what we're talking about now?
Yes, that's it exactly. The majority didn't agree with the rulers, and they were justified.
Bernie, what do you think?
Oh, I think I don't remember what the anti-settlement law was.
Larry.
It was a law disputed in 1830 when the Mexican government tried to stop more settlement, and the Texans wouldn't stop. Led to a whole lot of fighting.
Do they have the right to refuse? After all, it was a law.
Yeah, that's right. It was a law.
Well, so what? It was a bad law.
Oh, so you think if a law is bad, you can disobey it, huh?
Right.
Hey, man, wake up.
Mr. Dixon?
Charlie.
They didn't think, they knew. The Texans proved it.
Sure did. They won the revolution, didn't they?
You're a little late, aren't you, Jason?
That's what I kept telling Mr. Casey, but he didn't pay no attention.
Well, if you had to go to the vice principal's office, must have been some reason.
Yeah, he thought it was one.
Okay, where were we?
Deep in the heart of Texas.
Oh, Pam, you said that the early settlers proved that it was a bad law by winning. Does that mean that if they had lost, it would have been a good law? Oh, thank you. Charlie, Mr. Casey wants to see you.
Right now?
That's what it says. Larry, you had your hand up? Larry.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Okay, we'll continue this discussion tomorrow.
I'm sorry I was late today, Mr. Dixon.
Well, I have to admit you did spend a long time at Mr. Casey's office. Can I help?
Yeah, you can help me catch a fiend. Somebody told Casey I was in a chemistry lab making perfume. Now I got 2 weeks detention.
Perfume in the chem lab?
Yeah, see, it's this little chick, you know, and I've been making perfume for her, and it was a little accident.
Little accident?
It wasn't much of an explosion, and I cleaned it all up. But I didn't think anybody was around. But somebody told Casey.
Maybe Casey saw it happen.
No, it wasn't no one there. There's so much thinking going on in this school, man. You gotta wait in line for Casey to get at you.
The traffic in and out of his office is rather brisk.
Brisk ain't the word for it. It's congested. And when I find out who's responsible for this, I'm gonna pop some fink upside his head.
Suppose you hit the wrong guy by mistake. Jason, you may find out that revenge is not as sweet as you think it is. Take it easy, okay? Arnie?
I'm sorry, Mr. Dixon.
What's the matter?
I'm working nights. See, I got into some trouble and I'm trying to make it up.
What kind of trouble?
Well, I had to finish my biology project and I'm trying to do a real good job. So I borrowed a microscope from the lab.
Oh, boy.
I was gonna bring it right back. It was stolen from my car. Well, I got a job right away. And only one more week and I'll have all the money to pay it back.
Has anybody missed it yet?
No. It's kept in a special case. Only advanced students are allowed to use it. Please don't tell Mr. Casey. I've got a scholarship hanging on my grades, Mr. Dixon.
I know. One more week.
That's it. And believe me, I've learned my lesson.
I hope you have.
Now, you said you saw the suspect hanging around the hall outside the chemistry lab at the time in question, right?
Right. But I was at the end of the hall.
Nevertheless, you said he was a male Caucasian about the age of 16, right?
Right. And he was wearing a red shirt.
Hey, Bernie got a red shirt.
Well, so do you, man.
Well, I ain't no male Caucasian, brother, or haven't you noticed?
Some people will use anything for an alibi.
Oh, it wasn't Bernie. This boy had hair like... hair.
So what have I got?
Never mind, man. We got business to take care of.
Hey, everybody. Everybody got it already.
What's that,
Oh,
Nevada?
look, got 5 noses, 3 eyes, 6 hairdos, and 2 mouths.
What about the ears?
Oh, I knew I forgot something.
Never mind. Hey, dig. Now, this is what is called our dinner kit. All we do is put the spare parts together till we make up Helen's suspect. Okay, here's copies of our guide. Find them.
Good guy.
Find them.
Okay.
Find them.
Hey, Jason.
What's happening, Victor?
Hey, I sure dug the way you played in that basketball game last week.
Thanks, man.
Hey, you want to get some lunch or something?
Oh, man, I got some business to take care of. I'll see you later.
Hey, Arnie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great report you did in Miss Johnson's class.
Oh, yeah? Thanks.
Hey, I was just gonna get some ice cream. Do you want some?
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
Save it, man. I got it.
Casey, Mr. Kaufman. Hey? Casey, what's going on? The traffic between my class and your office is starting to look like a freeway.
Well, maybe you ought to keep a closer eye on your class.
It's not that easy. You got them coming and going so fast, I may need a revolving door.
Something I ought to know about?
Oh, no. Nothing I can't handle.
Pete, let's have lunch.
I can't. I got something to do. I'll see you later.
Okay, but I do want to see your first free period, okay?
Okay.
Excuse me. Arnie? I want to see you.
Casey is strict, yes. Hard-nosed, okay. But I don't know about unfair, Alice.
Well, he's unfair to me.
Why?
Because I'm going to have the best disciplined bunch of failing students in this school. He keeps interrupting my classwork, pulling them out of class.
Now that's unfair.
Yeah. What's this? Mutton and aspic, I think.
How can you tell?
Liz McIntyre, some of this happens to be very good food.
Yeah, well, which is and which ain't?
Alice, is this the first time you substituted in home ec?
Well, yes, but I think I'm developing quite a little talent for it.
Well, maybe we can have lunch again when you're sure.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon. Thank you very much.
Arnie, what's the matter?
Mr. Casey knows all about the microscope. I'm on probation, and it'll probably go on my record. You're the only one I told.
Arnie, I never said a word.
I trusted you, Mr. Dixon, and you turned me in.
Pete, you just drove past your stop. Don't we have an appointment right now?
Oh, yeah, I know, but I gotta go see Casey about something important. Can I meet with you later?
You can meet with me later, but be a little gentle with him, will you, Pete? He's delicate.
Don't worry, I only plan to ask him a few questions.
I know about Arnie. Have you tried talking to the kid first?
Yeah, but it didn't do any good. Now I want to find out from Casey where he's been getting his information.
You think he's going to tell you?
I don't know, but I'm sure going to try and find out.
Pete, if Casey's out of line, that's my concern. I'll handle it.
The trust of those kids is my concern.
Pete, I'll handle it. Come on. Let's keep our appointment.
Why do I get the feeling that you know everything that goes on in this school?
Because I do.
Man, if you knew what you was talking about, you wouldn't know what you was talking about.
I'm telling you, everybody knows.
And I'm telling you got the wrong cat. Mr. Dixon don't need to be sneaking around.
No, doesn't everyone say we don't trust anyone over 30? Well, he's a teacher over 30, isn't he?
Oh, no, look, that might sound right, but I can't go for that.
Here's Arnie. He'll tell you. Hey, these kids been spreading the word that Mr. Dixon turned you in. Tell him the truth, man.
He did turn me in.
Okay, break it up. Everybody take a seat. Yesterday when the bell rang, we were discussing laws. Do you ever think that there's a legitimate reason to disobey a law? Nancy. Didn't you start to say something yesterday?
I've been thinking a lot about what we said, and it really connects with what's happening now. It's relevant, you know.
Is it? How, Charlie? Thanks, Jason, but I'd like to hear from someone else. John? Emmeline? Arnie?
First, we sprinkle in a little of this gray powder.
Ooh, what's it smell?
That's adult roses. It's been in everything in the chemistry lab. Oh, Helen, you better be go getting in your place now.
Okay, good luck.
Cool. Be cool.
Who you got for suspects?
I got it narrowed down to Charlie, Sam, and Arnie.
Arnie? But wasn't he one of the victims?
You know a better way to get the suspicion off yourself? Now, that Charlie always wearing dark glasses. What's that supposed to mean?
I don't know.
Now, if you ask me, that Sam is really the one to watch, man.
How come?
Because he look guilty all the time.
Well, maybe he's just scared because you keep following him around all day.
Never mind that, man. Let's get set up, okay?
Okay. Now that the oven's lit and the suspects are deployed outside, then what?
Then when you set this oven off, man, pow!
Wait a minute, why do I set it oven off?
Because you're the right type.
What makes me the right type?
Because you're smaller than me. Anyway, it's about time. Good luck, man, good luck.
Good luck.
Hey, Jason. What are you doing? Will you wait till they get here? They're coming, man. They're coming. They're coming.
Oh, no! Jason and Bernie fighting! Jason and fire!
Hey, Bernie, you overdoing it.
Who's overdoing it? You're killing me.
Oh, look, it's Larry! Boy, is he gonna get in trouble. Let's get out of here.
That was beautiful, man.
I thought you said nothing would happen.
Nothing did. The oven's fired.
Well, my eyebrows aren't. They're gone.
You're right, man. One of them made a beeline for Casey's office.
Did you get there in time to see who it was?
I sure did, and it wasn't one of your suspects.
Hey, Victor.
Oh, hiya, Jason. Can I get you something?
You already did, man. 2 weeks detention.
What are you talking about?
Oh, you know as well as I do, man, what I'm talking about.
I don't. What's the matter with you?
Don't jive, man. I want to know why.
Jason, I'm sorry.
Man, you some kind of a weird two-timing dude. Go around buying people everything you see in sight, letting your light shine all over the place. But the first chance you get, you break to the vice principal office, and you sell out. And I want to know why you do this, man.
Well, Jason, see, I like you, and I wanted you to like me. Ever since I came to school, I've been trying to make friends, but it's hard for me. I'm just not like you.
You still haven't answered my question, man. Why'd you think to Casey?
Well, I got in trouble, just like you did. Casey said he'd let me off if I'd help him out. I didn't want to do it. He made me do it, Jason. He hired me.
Casey hired him?
That's what he said.
Excuse me.
She needs help, not punishment. Her home life is in a mess. Why don't you let me talk to her?
All right, if you want to give it a try, I'll hold off. Is that the last of them?
That's it.
Casey, I want to talk to you.
Well, you seem to be upset, Mr.
Did you hire Victor O'Brien as an informer?
No, I did not.
He said you did.
Get Victor O'Brien in here, please. Well, you went for it again, didn't you, Dixon? These kids can tell you anything, you'll believe it.
You didn't answer my question. Have you been using him as an informer?
In a manner of speaking, yes. But I never hired anyone. When a boy comes to me with information, if it'll help keep order in this school, I use it.
You may keep order, but what about his character and self-esteem?
You don't sit in this office, Pete. I've got a job to do and judgments to make. I got to worry about kids parking illegally and other kids pushing speed. Now, I don't need or care for informers about parking. But if I can save a kid from an overdose of narcotics or a pregnant girl from committing suicide, I'll take that kind of information from anyone. Now, would you rather I didn't?
I'd rather you found another way.
Like what?
I don't know, but there's got to be some kind of way to be able to...
Come in. Victor, did I ever hire you or force you to tell me anything? Well, did I?
No, Mr. Casey.
Satisfied? All right, Victor, you can go now.
All right, he lied. But they all don't lie. Some would like to tell the truth if there was an atmosphere of trust which your methods prevent.
Dixon, will you never learn? There's a whole world...
Stop it! Look, neither of you is going to be convinced. If a life's at stake, sure, you have to do anything to save it. But at the same time, you can't go around turning students against each other. You can't make them live with the suspicion that any and everything they do is going to be reported. Discipline is fine, but not as a tool to destroy trust.
Excuse me, but it looks like there's going to be trouble. You better come quick.
So what's it gonna be?
Man, that's what you call touch and go.
If anybody touched me, I've been gone.
Jason, how come you did that?
Something Mr. Dixon said.
What?
He said you gotta figure out why some people do something. And I think I figured you out, man.
Yeah, well, Jason, I lied to you, too.
I know you did.
You do? Well, how?
I got you all figured out in my head.
Yeah, but why wouldn't...
To make me feel good, man. See, I'm the cat that really figured out it was you. And I don't want to be responsible for you getting leaned on when I'm not around to watch out for you.
Don't know what to say.
Yeah, well, I do. You know, those guys are in there, and they're going to come after us. Can we please go? Thank you very much.
Long day, huh?
Mr. Dixon, I just paid off the microscope. $72.90. I'm still on probation, but it's not going on my record.
That's great, Arnie. Arnie, do me a favor, will you? From now on, do your biology projects in the lab.
You bet.
See you.
Hey, Arnie.
Yeah?
Hey, I just wanted to tell you that, I'm sorry for what I did. If there was any way I could make it up to you, I would.
Okay, forget it.
Hey, you want to go get something to eat? Come on, I'll buy. That is, do you want to go get a pizza with me?
Yeah, I'm kind of hungry myself.
You know, it's been a long day. But it's been a good day.
Yeah, I feel better, too.
Are you hungry? Now that you mention it, you buying?
Who, me? No.
That's what I like about you, Pete. You're so secure.
See you, Harry.
about you?
I don't know, man. What?
You got no right. United States of America flag is sacred.
Come on, man. It's a free country.
Oh, freedom, yes. Not to insult, no.
Bug off, mister.
Now, you listen to me.
Gentlemen, please. You'll be late for class.
Yeah. Hippie! Hippie! You teacher and you permit disgrace for American USA flag? Not possible.
Kwwh, tell us what happened. Yes, Mr. Kwwh, why don't you tell the class what happened?
I already told you. Hotshot hippie drive to school on motorcycle. He get down and I see he got for pants in back. Cut out with scissors. American USA flag. Oh. When not displayed, American USA flag must be folded, stored, or burned. It's law.
That's right, Mr. Kwwh. And since you know that, why didn't you just tell him? Isn't it possible that he just didn't know?
It's also possible to yell too much. I apologize. But American flag is something very important to me.
Es verdad to all of us.
To all of us.
And to me, too. So let's go to work on what that flag means and what the Constitution means. I'm going to read the First Amendment.
Oh, please, young gentleman, permit. A Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble to petition the government for redress of grievances. Yeah, I can also say the others, amendments and Constitution.
I believe you, and I'm very impressed. But now, let's discuss what that really means. For example, the right to wear a pair of pants patterned after the flag.
No, I disagree.
But Mr. Kwwh, after reciting all of those freedoms under the First Amendment, well, shouldn't we include freedom of dress?
Ever since Pam won that All-City Art Award, she's really been in orbit.
She sure has. It's had kind of a weird effect on her, you know?
Yes, I've noticed.
She's so detached. I mean, you talk to her, but she doesn't really hear you. It's as if she's listening to music only she can hear and painting paintings only she can see.
Boy, talk about being in orbit. You sound like you're ready to join her.
Well, can I help it if I identify with artistic inspiration?
Oh, boy.
No, seriously. I've been thinking about open house, and artistic inspiration might be just what we need.
You gotta be kidding.
All right. Why isn't the period around the American Revolution suitable for open house? I mean, it was the beginning of American literature. Thomas Paine, Benjamin Franklin, Jefferson.
Well, look, we're having a revolution now. And, man, it's hard sitting in here dealing with some stuff in a history book when we should be involved in what's happening in America today.
Right. And if we don't watch out, the whole country's going down the drain.
I think you've come up with a class project, Pam.
What?
Well, there's a revolution going on in America now. What does it mean to you? And how do you feel about your country? How can you express those feelings? Well, why not do exactly what Franklin and Jefferson did? Say exactly what you think.
What are you two doing, trying to smuggle an elephant in here?
No, see, Mr. Kaufman, it's our project for open house.
And you don't have to worry, man. It's cool.
Well, as long as it's cool. It's cool.
It is?
Now, the question is, what does cool mean to him?
Oh, wow.
Well?
It's great. You really like it? Really?
Yeah, really good. Yeah.
Caller. Hello, Bernie. Hello, excuse me.
Hi there.
Hi.
Well?
Oh, it's very, creative.
This is a piece of art, and it's good, and it expresses a strong point of view.
I noticed that. Well, it'll be the hit of the open house. Conservatively speaking, I would say that 50% of the parents will be mildly upset by it. The other 50% will be strongly upset.
Well, that means it's successful. A piece of art is supposed to make people feel something.
Oh, then it's a smash. Makes me feel something already. Nervous.
Of course I've seen Pam's project. I had to find out what turned her on to school again. She's really come back to life. She even has Chernick for a makeup test in math.
Of course, all she needed was some method of connecting her schoolwork to her artwork.
Yeah, now all I need is...
Miss Johnson, there's trouble in the classroom.
Excuse us. Excuse me.
Ridiculous. I couldn't get away with that.
Take a look, Miss Johnson. That's beautiful, man. I mean, well, we should have expected that, right? Now, who will be sick enough to do something like that?
Hey, this is the kind of world we live in. This is what happens to an artist today. Now, I know you and Miss McIntyre have been talking about me. Pam just isn't doing her work. Well, Miss Johnson, this is my work. This is what I care about. Not English and history and math and all that. They don't mean anything to me. This is what I feel. You conned me, Miss Johnson. You know, I got kind of hooked into this, and it was really important to me. Doing something that came out of what I felt. And now it's just wrecked.
Yeah, and we're gonna find out who did it and rip them off.
Let's send a delegation to Kaufman's office.
Look, I don't think he did it. Now, let's not go racing off in all directions. Why don't we try to figure out how this could have happened?
Well, it couldn't have been vandals. I mean, nothing else in the school was wrecked.
How do you know?
Because everybody would have been talking about it.
Right, so it happened to just lucky old us.
Hey, what about the night janitor?
Oh, man, I know that cat. He's cool.
Are you also sure that it was an outsider, not a student?
Oh, it couldn't have been a kid. He would have known it was somebody's project, somebody working on it.
Right. It sounds like the kind of thing an adult would do if he were really angry about something.
Hey, maybe it was a teacher.
No. But who else could have got in here, man? I mean, the school is locked up at night.
No, it isn't. Not all the time. They have those night classes.
Oh, yeah, adult education. They got a lot of them, you know.
A night student. What about a night student, Miss Johnson?
Of course was me.
But, Mr. Kwwh, why?
I make report. It's terrible. It's terrible. To make garbage of USA flag must not be permitted.
And what about destroying somebody else's property? Mr. Kwwh, that was a piece of art. Somebody worked on it and cared about it. And you had no right to destroy it.
Right, of course I got right. I got duty to do that. Me, Janos Kwwh, I'm going to be citizen here. Land of free and home of Bill of Rights. I fight for that. I not let USA flag be disgraced, no. It's act of patriot. What I do is right.
Well, let's get right to the point. Miss Johnson has found the man who wrecked Pam's project. We both talked to him.
Who is he?
Why'd he do it?
Yeah, let's get him here and make him explain.
I've asked Miss Johnson not to reveal his identity just yet.
Why not?
Because it was a night student who's studying for a citizenship examination.
Sure, some uptight, righteous adult.
No, Bernie, that's not true. He's a person that takes his country very seriously. He really cares about the American flag. Pam, you see, he didn't understand what you were trying to say with your project. All he saw was disrespect.
What about what we saw, Mr. Kaufman? Pam has a right to say what she feels.
Yeah, that weirdo had no right to do what he did. Jason's right. Let's make a citizen's arrest or some home in the court.
Right. Sue the man. But this could ruin his chances for becoming a United States citizen.
That suits me fine.
Okay. Then your next step is to hire an attorney. Now, who's going to pay? Jason? Bernie? And it's going to take time. You'll have to help prepare a case.
Okay, man, we got the cards stacked against us. But Pam got cut up. There's got to be a way to make this dude pay.
Well, Jason, I just had another thought. You can file a complaint against him with the Department of Immigration and Naturalization. Wouldn't cost you a penny, and you'd probably prevent the man from becoming a citizen.
Hey, that's heavy.
That's right, Bernie, it is. I understand he's studied and worked for years for this. Now he's right on the verge of becoming an American. You can take that away from him. If you want to.
Think about it, okay? I don't want to create trouble for Kwwh, but the class is right. Pam's work was wrecked. It's important to her. If we just let this go by, she's going to crawl right back inside herself and tune the world out.
Agreed.
But she has to understand why he tore up the project. And he ought to understand what made her make it in the first place.
Also agreed. Arbitration.
What?
Well, lawsuits aren't the only way to settle differences. There's negotiation, discussion, two parties with an impartial chairman.
Kwwh versus the class?
Exactly.
This is Mr. Janos Kwwh. Mr. Kwwh, my class. And this is Pam.
Yeah, this is Pam. And that's what you did to her, man.
I'd like to know why.
Is difficulty for you. For that, I'm sorry. But I'm not sorry for what I did to that thing.
That thing is Pam's work. It's her personal comment.
Oh, with USA flag going down drain. Okay. Then I tear up. That's my comment.
But, man, that isn't fair. I mean, she didn't tear anything up of yours.
Wrong. She tear up something very important to me. Flag of my new country. USA Constitution says all men are equal. All men got rights. But laws say all men got responsibility. To me, that's not responsible. That's insult.
Hey, I don't know where you come from, but I have lived in this country all my life, and I have lived in it black. Now, I know you don't know what that means, but...
I understand. It's discrimination. It's against USA Constitution. But you're here in first-class school. You go wherever you want. You do what you want. World is not perfect place, little lady. I'm sorry. But believe me, America is closest to perfect there is the best.
Believe you? Why? Why should I believe you? You are white. Now, that means, man, you just don't know. We have been shoved around here for over 300 years. Now you come sailing in here telling me it's a tough world. So just get back in the bus and shut up. No chance. No chance. Now you look at the flag and you see promises, right? I look at that same flag and I see promises I want kept. Now I have a right to say I am not satisfied. I made that out of my own life, out of my own gut. And you just came in here and tore it up for no reason. That's where that is.
I am in America for 5 years. Before that, I was in country where I was born, where my father was born, where his father, where we lived for a long, long time. It's small country, not very big, not very large, like USA, not strong, but is home to me. I got their life. I got wife, I got children, I got friends, I got the flag. What means flag? A flag is my father, his father, my wife, my friends, is all that. Now, you got prejudice here. That's bad. And so you mad on USA flag. I cry for my flag because it's not just insult. It's much worse than that. It's when you see them tanks ride over that flag, trample it in 1 second, not flag, just piece of rag is dirt under your feet. Now, your family not always given freedoms, and that is bad. Okay, I'm a man who love his wife, and they shoot her. They shoot her. 1 second, she's dead. My children are running, I'm running, they're shooting, and my children are dead. So I stopped running. I got no reason to run anymore. I got no reason to run, to do anything anymore. So I just wait there. I'm just dead man. Only they don't shoot me. I don't know why, but they don't. I stand there, I wait, and then I escape. My life is prison in that country. I got no home there. I escape to other country. I go here, I go there. Then I come to America. And in America, I start to come a little bit alive. I find here something I've lost. See, not wife, not children, not friends, but here is USA Constitution. Here is freedom. Here is USA flag. Here's what I got in my life.
small Paris cafe where James Joyce often met Ernest Hemingway. Now, Joyce was almost blind, and to be quite honest, he was somewhat of a troublemaker. He used to start fights all the time, and then when a man would double up his fist, Joyce would put on his thick glasses and turn to Hemingway and say, "Take care of him, Ernest."
Man, that Joyce is lucky he didn't get hit from both sides.
Okay, class, that's it. Will someone get the blinds, please? And Bernie, take down the screen for me, please.
Miss Johnson, is something wrong?
Well, I thought I had oh, that's silly. It's nothing. I want you to all write down your impressions of James Joyce, the man, versus James Joyce, the writer. You have 10 minutes. Helen, will you please take over the class for me? Begin working. Thank you. Oh, Liz.
Well, I'm next.
No, this is an emergency. What happened? I was showing slides and somebody took a $20 bill out of my purse.
Just now?
During class. Look, I don't know what to do. I mean, if I expose him, I could ruin him. And if I let him get away with it, it might set a whole pattern. I mean, who knows? It might lead to something worse. Either way, I could ruin his entire life.
Whose life, Alice?
That's just it. I don't know.
Now, wait a minute, Alice. Are you absolutely sure you had the $20 in your purse?
Positive.
Maybe you left it in the other purse.
I had the money with me. The question is should I let it go?
Well, if somebody stole your money, you can't just let it go. You got to do something.
All right, then the question is what?
Well, I am all out of suggestions for today.
Suggestions. That's it. Hey, thanks.
Now, what were you saying?
About what?
Well, now, when class started, I had $20 in my purse. And it disappeared when the room was dark. I want the person who took it to put it in an envelope, address it to me, and drop it in the school suggestion box. No questions asked. Class dismissed.
Don't look at me, I'm clean. Now, who take it?
Me.
That makes sense.
Hey, man, you're under arrest. You have the right to remain silent.
Hey, wait a minute.
Silence. What do you want to do? Interfere with your civil rights?
Anything you say can and will be held against you in a court of law.
I don't want to die, Mom.
Write that down.
Now, if I could write, you think I'd be here?
Well, I guess we're going to let you off, but you're going to have to come by and buy a raffle ticket.
Let's see how many we can sell before lunch while they still got money.
Okay.
Boys!
Say, Roy. Hey, what's the first prize?
Stereo rec play.
I wish it was a new father. I'd buy a dozen tickets.
You mean your old man split again?
Yeah, when the bills come in, he goes out.
That isn't funny.
Who's laughing?
Well, I mean, when he splits, what do you do?
You get some part-time job, man. What do you think? Hey, Mr. Kaufman, you want to buy a raffle ticket? Only 25 cents.
All right.
How many you going to take?
One.
Just one.
Jason, I have bought a dozen tickets to every activity in this school, and I always lose. This time we'll try one. Good luck to me.
I mean, that's all the money I had with me. I don't even have car fare.
Alice, the ride is free.
Oh. Pete,
What?
we've got a problem.
Boy, I think I must be a jinx.
Well, look, tell me about it on the way.
We can't.
What do you mean you can't? What's wrong?
You got a flat tire. Boy, some free ride.
Flat as a pancake, honey. We can still make it to the store before it closes.
Yeah. Oh, great.
What's the matter? What is it?
Somebody stole my spare tire.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure, Alice. It's not there.
Maybe you left it in your other car.
Oh, good morning, Jimmy.
Hi, Mr. Dixon.
It's a nice bike you got. I wish I had one like that yesterday.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Hi, Mr. Dixon.
Hi, Butch.
Oh, Jimmy, I've been trying to catch you. Here's the $10 I owe you.
Oh, good. Man, I didn't think I was going to see this for a month.
Yeah, I got lucky. Oh, with the job.
Where are you working?
Oh, across town.
Is your dad still alive?
Yeah.
What kind of work does your father do?
Oh, he's a salesman, Mr. Dixon. Oh, when he works. When he doesn't work, he's away. And he's away a lot.
That's pretty tough.
Yeah. Oh, we gotta go. Bye, Mr. Dixon.
See you.
Do you have any idea what that looks like without music?
Oh, I got music.
It's a radio.
And so close to the eardrum.
I thought it was a hearing aid. So did I. I've been yelling at him for weeks. See ya.
Okay, bye.
I just wish the boys wouldn't stare all the time. Honey, don't move around so much in class.
Hey, look.
Oh, my goodness.
In the suggestion box.
Well, it certainly is suggestive.
How do you think you could misspell that word?
$20, your spare tire, and now this.
Oh, I don't think that no ties into anything.
Neither do I. It's not that original.
Oh, really? Gee, I thought it was. Maybe that's because it was my first.
You know, it just occurs to me, how could anyone get in the trunk of your car?
I don't know. Maybe somebody took the keys out of my jacket pocket.
Maybe you better teach with it on for a few days.
Good thinking. Maybe we ought to take a look at my classroom, huh?
Returning to the scene of the crime?
Right.
Why not?
I have a class.
It's all right. We can handle it ourselves.
Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson, huh?
I was showing slides, and there were approximately 30 students in the room sitting...
I have a rough idea where your students sit. Now, where was your purse?
It was on the desk, and I was over there.
Where was the screen?
Oh, right here.
Was there a lot of commotion when you were setting up?
Well, I got my finger stuck in it at first, but then I had a boy set it up for me.
Do you remember who?
Well, sure, it was... No, he was sitting over here. Oh, it was... No.
It's all right. Where was the projector?
Right over here.
What's the matter?
Well, it was right here.
I know, you just said that.
Well, what I mean is it was right here, and now it's gone. Hi.
Good morning. What's the matter?
Oh, what makes you think something's the matter?
I just sat down with a cup of coffee, didn't I? It stands to reason something's the matter.
Well, we do have a problem.
You see that?
A slide projector's missing.
A what?
And that's not all.
Not all.
Yesterday, somebody stole $20 out of my purse while I was showing slides. Pete didn't believe me.
He didn't say that, Alice.
Please, get to the projector.
It's missing.
I heard that. Why is it missing? Is it stolen?
We think so.
We're looking for a pattern.
I agree. Have you reported any of this to the police?
Nope.
We're reporting it to you.
Yes, thank you. You say Pete's spare tire is missing, too?
Mm-hmm.
Would you have Pete see me in my office as soon as he's free? Thank you. I know I never get a whole cup of coffee. Has anything else been misplaced around this school that no one's telling me about?
Not that I know of.
It's like some kid's out to make himself some extra money.
Yeah, maybe you're... What are you going to do?
Call the police.
Well, would you hold off a minute?
Why?
Well, I got an idea I want to check out.
What ideas, Pete? Oh, wait a minute. You mean about who did it?
Yeah.
Who?
Well, I don't want to say until I look into it.
Pete, I have to report it. This is stealing.
I know, but will you just give me a little time?
Okay. You got an hour and a half.
An hour and a half?
Sure, you can work wonders in an hour and a half.
But that's not enough time. Hi, fellas. Is Butch around?
I ain't seen him. Hey, Mr. Dixon, you want to buy a raffle ticket?
What for?
The boys' band. Lots of wild prizes.
Is one of them a projector?
No, man.
Oh, never mind. Okay, I'll take one.
Mr. Kaufman, he bought a dozen.
No kidding.
Okay, one.
You still think it's Butch?
For one thing, where is he?
Pete, it's a big school, especially at lunchtime. A kid could be anywhere.
Lunchtime. I got a meeting with Mr. Kaufman. I guess he's going to have to call the police. I'll let you know what happens.
You better.
Need some help, Jimmy? Hi.
What's going on?
I don't know, but maybe now we can find out. Well, what are you going to do with the typewriter? Look, Jimmy, if there's anything you want to tell us, now's the time.
Jimmy, do you know what the word felony means? You know what happens once it gets on your record? All right, wait outside, please.
Well, what do you say?
I say now I call the police.
Just doesn't add up.
I mean, it doesn't add up. With an electric typewriter, a projector, some cash, and your spare tire, I'd say it adds up to something like $700.
Yeah, but why did he pick this particular time to steal the typewriter?
Because I was out to lunch.
And I was on my way to your office to keep an appointment. Now, he heard me make that appointment.
Well, what are you saying, that he wanted you to catch him?
Well, if he wanted me to catch him, that was the way to do it.
Well, even if, Pete, that doesn't mean we're going to let him get away with it.
What puzzles me is that, well, he's not a troublemaker. He's a good student. Why does he suddenly decide to become a thief?
Well, that's for the police to investigate.
That's what I'm worried about. You said it yourself. A felony rap can follow a kid around for the rest of his life. Wait a minute. What's the first thing that the police do when a kid is involved in a crime?
Call his parents, I guess. Why should I? I know, a felony rap. Oh, boy, now I don't know who to call, the police or his parents. Oh, yeah, Miss Hogarth. Look, would you call, Jimmy Thompson's parents for me, please? Tell him I'd like to see him as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Hogarth. His parents will be here tomorrow.
No.
Find anything?
Nothing we didn't see before. Grades are excellent, Iowa score high, no discipline problems, and no hint of anything out of the ordinary. Why won't they be here today?
Scheduling problem, getting them together.
What do you mean?
They split up.
Oh. To understand the history of America in the past century, you have to understand the increase in personal mobility. In the old days, people stayed pretty much in one place. They lived together. Children, parents, grandparents, even unmarried aunts. The lifestyle was set, and the man grew up expecting to do pretty much the same thing that his father did. But today, things have changed. People are scattered. Mobility has brought with it a change of values, a change of lifestyles.
Oh, you mean like communes?
Communes aren't exactly new, but they are an example. What else?
Smaller families.
Right.
More divorces.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think people today feel the necessity to stay married? Fran?
Well, I think maybe marriage is a thing of the past.
Well, family life is breaking down. We all suffer the effects of that. But the big question is, how does it affect you? Have you thought about it?
I've thought about it a lot. My mother's been married 5 times.
You know, what's really embarrassing is when you're out with one father and you run into another father.
Must be great at Christmas time.
We'll try it on Father's Day.
Well, check this out. My cousin folks split up. Then they got back together. Now everything's the same way it was before.
Rotten.
I don't see any point in people staying married when they don't like each other anymore.
Well, suppose they have children.
Well, I guess that would make it even tougher to decide.
I think the reason they stay married is because of the kids.
You care to comment on that, Jimmy?
No.
Thank you. Jimmy? Your parents are in Mr. Carlton's office.
Here you go, Fran. Third prize, a magnificent, completely transistorized radio.
I'll bet you it doesn't even have batteries. Yeah, I was right.
Be nice to me, and maybe I can work something out.
I'd rather be nice to Godzilla.
Hey, Mr. Dixon, guess what? You won fourth prize, lunch for two at the Pizza Parlor, man.
Well, thank you, Jason. I don't know what to say.
You know what to say when you get to lunch.
No, that's perfectly all right. Take all the time you need. Any messages?
Yes, Mr. Henry called.
Morris?
Uh-huh, he said it was urgent.
I'll call him tomorrow.
But he said it was urgent.
Miss Hogarth, Napoleon let everything sit on his desk for 3 months before he thought it was urgent.
Actually, he was noted for being very prompt in his correspondence. My nephew did his thesis on Napoleon.
Is there any other news?
Well, the baseball coach was complaining again.
That's not news. Is that all?
No.
Look, let's let the rest wait, please. You know, Miss Hogarth, sometimes I wonder if January 15th will ever come again.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, I guess that was before you came here. There was one January 15th I'll never forget.
Oh? What happened?
Nothing. Nothing at all. All day long.
What's that?
Oh, the misplaced objects are all going to be returned. Jimmy wanted to talk to his parents alone for a few minutes. You know why I think he did it?
Why?
To get his parents back together again.
How's that going to get his parents back together?
Well, by showing him how much he needs them, how much their split is affecting him.
Oh, I see.
You know, I don't condone what he did, but I hope it works. They seem like nice people. Jimmy?
Didn't work, did it?
Mr. Dixon, what do you do when you've tried as hard as you can to make something work, but then it just doesn't turn out right?
Try to adjust to it.
But that's not enough.
Never has been. You know something, Jimmy? Your parents are probably as unhappy about this as you are. Need your understanding as much as you need theirs.
Well, that's what they said, but then that's putting it all on me.
Not all. But the older you get, the more you have to share in the problems.
But this is their problem. It's not mine.
Really?
All right, it's mine too. But what I mean is, I didn't create it. It's not fair that I be in the middle.
I didn't say it was fair.
Just the way it is. Did you ever have to adjust to this kind of problem?
Not this one specifically, but I have had to adjust.
Yeah. Okay. I'll see you in a moment.
Your historical review.
Thank you. Ready?
Let's go. I'm starved.
Oh, there you are.
Hi.
Why don't you take us out to lunch?
I was just taking Mr. Kaufman to lunch.
How about that?
We're going to the pizza parlor. Would you care to join us?
The pizza parlor?
Are you kidding? Pete Dixon.
Oh, look, it's for a good cause. Come on now, I realize the food isn't the greatest food in the world.
Oh, yeah, he's with Mr. Dixon. They were walking down towards the parking lot.
Hey, he must have brought up the camping equipment.
Oh, Joe.
Yeah?
Tell Mr. Galvez I want to talk to him, please.
Okay.
Thanks.
Oh, excuse me.
You know, anything Manny Galvez says or does is the Bible to Joe.
Well, he could do a lot worse.
That man is the best science teacher this school has ever had. Do you know this is the 12th year in a row he's taken his class on a field trip at his own expense?
That's what I call dedication, all right. But to a city girl like me, a field trip is about the bottom of the barrel.
You're lucky he didn't draft you to chaperone the girls.
Oh, he tried. He tried. But I told him camping out wasn't quite my thing. Besides, he didn't have to draft anybody. Someone enlisted.
No kidding. Who? Oh, don't tell me. Alice Johnson.
Head of the science department at Westgate High.
Well, principal's a friend of mine. He asked me to recommend somebody, and I can't think of anybody that deserves it more than you do.
I don't believe it.
Believe it. Believe it. The paper's already in work. Actually, there'll be an interview, but I'm sure that'll be no problem. What's the matter?
I can't accept.
Why not?
Well, I'm a great guy for camping trips, sleeping under the stars, nature and people. That's for me. I can't handle administration work.
Oh, I'm sure you could.
Keep recommending me, and people might stop asking for your opinion. Talk about ingratitude. You do a guy a favor, and he says, forget it.
Well, I'm not worried about that, but, you sure you wouldn't like some time to think about it?
No, I've decided. That's it.
Okay. Tell you the truth, for selfish reasons, I'm kind of glad. I didn't like the idea of losing you anyhow.
Well, I guess you can call off the paperwork.
That is the first thing you learn in administration. You can't call off the paperwork. But I'll pass the word along.
I'm late.
I know.
I was talking to Mr. Kaufman.
So he said.
I like Walt Whitman. So sue me.
You know, I still think you'd make a great department head.
Thanks. Kaufman said you gave me a plug. I appreciate it.
Look, Manny, you're bound to feel a little unsure at first, but don't worry about it. You'll get over it.
I'm not unsure. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm a teacher, Pete. I like teaching.
So do I. And when I became head of the history department, I didn't stop teaching.
Then let me put it to you this way. If I went to Westgate, who would you play tennis with? To say nothing of this game. Vamos. And on the trip, we're going to collect a lot of rocks, just like these. Of course, this display took a long time to put together. In fact, Joe helped me find lots of them on the trip we've taken. What is it, Bernie?
It's a rock.
Very good. Anything special about it?
It's a big old white raggedy rock.
Now scratch it with your fingernail.
Nothing happens.
Now use a penny.
Oh, why a penny?
Well, copper, it's harder than a fingernail.
Oh, yeah.
Now taste it.
Hey, why me, man?
Taste it.
You mean if I like it, I can eat the whole thing? Salt.
Congratulations. You have just completed a scientific experiment.
And here I am all this time thinking salt comes out of a salt shaker.
Thank you. Joe, will you keep this discussion going?
Sure.
Until the bell.
Manny, come in. This is Mr. Harrington of the personnel office, Mr. Galvez.
Mr. Galvez?
Why don't we sit down? Manny, have a seat. Well, I'll get right to the point. First of all, I want you to know that I did ask Westgate to withdraw your name, but they'd already submitted it, and personnel was running a check on you.
It's a routine procedure for a man becoming a department head, Mr. Galvez.
I know.
In the process of reviewing your college transcript, we found certain irregularities which led us to contact the college. They had no record of you ever having earned a college degree.
I'm not surprised.
It's true? It's true. You don't have a degree? No legitimate teaching credentials? None.
Bernie, do you know how this works?
Oh, yeah, Mr. Dixon told me about it. See, you fill this part with kerosene, you pump the handle, you fool around with it for about an hour or so, and...
And when the burners don't light, you build a campfire.
Yeah, that's what my dad always does.
Hold it, everybody. I have an announcement. The field trip this weekend is canceled.
Cancel? Why?
Because I'm leaving Walt Whitman.
Are you resigning?
You can't quit, Mr. Galvez.
You're right, Jason. I can't quit.
What do you mean?
I mean, I never finished college. I never got real teaching credentials.
But so what? You're still one of the best teachers this school ever had.
Thanks, Joe. But I'm afraid that's not good enough. I'm sorry. It's a simple story. I had a wife. She was going to have a baby. I needed money.
You were in college?
Yeah, 2 years to go. Job came up. School teacher. A life's dream. Had a friend who worked in the college record office. He could doctor my transcript, make it look like I had a degree, some education courses, and that way I could get a teaching credential. I talked myself right into it. Why not? It was only temporary.
Well, that was 17 years ago.
If you mean I should have gone back, you're right. It sounds easy. It is easy. Then a year goes by, then 2, and another kid, some more years before you know it.
Manny, what are you going to do?
I don't know.
Oh, can I come in?
Sure.
I'll talk to you later, okay?
Wait, can you stick around, Mr. Dixon? I'd like you to hear this.
Okay.
I'm going to get a petition going, and I'm going to get all the kids in the faculty to sign it.
Petition for what?
A petition for the school board to make an exception in your case and let you teach.
I don't think it'll work, Joe.
Look, Mr. Galvez, when my father died, you were the one that told me, Joe, keep punching. Now, look, that's all I'm asking you.
Joe!
Look, don't you think so, Mr. Dixon?
Don't I think what, Joe?
That a petition could help.
Can't hurt. But I honestly don't think it'll help.
Why not?
They have certain rules, Joe.
Primarily for your benefit. Because without them, anybody could call himself a teacher.
Since when did you join the system?
I don't think that has anything to do with it.
Look, I figured that maybe you and Mr. Kaufman would go down to the school board. Well, look, would you at least sign my petition?
No. The funny thing about it is I can't give you a reason why at this time. I hope you understand, Manny.
Sure, I understand.
Well, I don't understand. And I don't think anybody else is gonna understand either.
Hey, man, y'all know Mr. Galvez? Hey, look, he's in a little trouble, and he can sure use some help, so sign.
Yeah, I don't know, Mr. Galvez.
Look, man, you know me, so sign the paper, you know?
Yeah, sure. Is it all right?
Yeah. All right, thank you, comrades.
We know how he is with us. Well, he must have been that same way with a lot of other people.
There are at least 3 guys in my neighborhood that he kept from quitting school.
What you're saying is there must be lots of Whitman graduates who would be happy to testify to Mr. Galvez's ability as a teacher.
And as a friend.
Come in.
Hi.
We'll come back.
Okay, I'll have the list ready.
I could have sworn that was Helen and Larry standing there.
That's what happens when you try to swim upstream.
Listen, have you got Walt Purcell's telephone number at the university?
Yeah, you can reach him through the switchboard, 555-0101.
Okay.
What do you want to talk to him about?
Well, in case I get drummed out of Whitman, maybe I'll get a job at the university.
You know, we're getting a lot of support, and I think it's gonna work.
Well, I'd like to think it's going to work.
It will.
Well, win or lose, Joe, I'm glad for the support that you and everybody else has given to me.
So you know almost everybody.
Well, everybody has a right to his own opinion.
Mr. Galvez,
Joe? Thanks a lot for letting me take my time getting my stuff out.
Well, I guess you know I hope it won't be necessary. Somehow.
I know.
All right, I'll sign it. I really do think the whole thing is very wrong. But it feels very right. Liz, what you're doing... Alice, please don't tell me what I'm doing. If I don't know what I'm doing, you certainly don't know what I'm doing.
Oye, compadre, where you been?
Busy? I figured you were mad at me.
I am, but come in anyway.
Cleaning out your files.
Just the deadwood.
You made any plans?
Sure. I'm going to open up a taco stand.
That's not funny. Look, Manny, why don't you go back and finish college and get your teaching credential?
I'm too old.
Not too old for camping, tennis, wife at school.
Too many responsibilities.
Like what?
Like 4 daughters to support. I need a paycheck.
You'd find one.
Even if I did, my wife would have to go to work.
Ask her.
I didn't have to. She already offered.
So?
I said no thanks.
The same reasons that made you do what you did 17 years ago? Hasn't anything changed in all that time?
Okay, let's get down to it. You could be a big help to me if you wanted.
Manny, I happen to think that the school board is right to require certain qualifications from the teachers they hire.
So do I. But I've already proved myself. I got my training on the job.
You can apply that same rule to a surgeon. Forget about medical school. Just go out and start cutting.
That's different. Anyway, aren't any exceptions allowed?
None that I know of.
Let's let the school board decide that, okay?
Okay. But there's going to be a funeral. You better take a look at this. There's something in there that might change your mind.
This morning, a delegation of students from the Walt Whitman High School, accompanied by their science teacher, Mr. Manuel Galvez, went before the Board of Education with a petition bearing over 2,000 signatures. The names on this 20-foot-long petition included members of the faculty, students, and alumni of the school. Comments from the students indicated enthusiastic support for Mr. Galvez, and representing a majority of the teachers was Alice Johnson.
Well, the response of the faculty has been very gratifying. As a matter of fact, almost all of them signed the petition, and I'm sure when the board members hear our story, they'll change their mind and let Manny Galvez stay at Walt Whitman High, where he belongs.
When my father died, I started getting in trouble. Mr. Galvez helped me out. And this school board is crazy if they fire him, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Galvez is a groovy dude.
Every year he takes us kids in his science class on a field trip and pays for it himself.
Although the members of the board were sympathetic, they nonetheless voted unanimously to uphold an earlier ruling, which was that Mr. Galvez would have to go. And now sports and weather after...
All that work for nothing.
How's Mandy taking it?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him since they got back from downtown.
Oh, did he get back to you about your ideas?
No.
Maybe he will now.
Don't bet on it.
Just put him down. Got him busted.
I'm sorry about the bad news.
Thanks.
It's not the end of the world.
It is for Mr. Galvez.
Joe, you know better than that. Look, you did the best you knew how.
Mr. Dixon should have helped us. You know, Mr. Kaufman maybe was on the spot, but Mr. Dixon should have helped.
What he did wasn't cool.
Wasn't cool. Well, Mr. Dixon's got more cool than the whole bunch of you put together. You're always talking about people doing their own thing. But just as soon as somebody disagrees with you, the first thing you do is put them down.
Because this time we had a good reason.
Just 1 minute. Now, while you were out getting signatures for your petition, Mr. Dixon was doing something very real and very practical to help Mr. Galvez.
Like what?
Like lining up night courses at the university so he could finish and get his degree in not much more than a year.
Yeah?
Yeah. He was also lining up tutoring jobs and teacher's aide work for Mrs. Galvez so she could work if she wanted to.
Gee.
He was also working on a partial scholarship and a student loan.
Hey, does Mr. Galvez know all this?
Sure, he knows about it. So before you put Mr. Dixon down about anything, just be sure you know the whole story.
Mr. Galvez.
Hey, what's going on?
A delegation of concerned students.
We heard about Mr. Dixon's idea.
How you can get your degree and work and get your credentials.
Hold it. I appreciate Mr. Dixon's ideas. And I love what you guys are doing. But I can't do it.
But, Mr. Galvez, you gotta do it.
It's not as easy as it sounds, Joe.
But no one's saying it's easy.
Try and understand. At my age, too many things get in the way. It's just not possible.
Here, let me help. Manning, I'm sorry I ever recommended you for that job.
Well, I am, too. But then again, I'm very proud.
You're still the best science teacher we ever had.
Thank you.
Well, if there's ever anything I can do.
I won't hesitate to ask.
Joe, what are you doing? I help you collect this. No! I guess I can destroy you if I want to, Joe. Tell me what to do! Remember that stuff you told me about how you can't get knocked out by things that happen to you? How you have to get up when you're knocked down? How you have to keep punching? Whatever happened to those ideas, Mr. Galvez? Are they for everybody but you?
Joe, let's sit down. We'll talk about it.
There's nothing to talk about. You're a phony. But I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'm not gonna be like you. I'm gonna make something of myself. And in 20 years from now, you won't catch me crying. Because I'm gonna keep punching till I make things happen for me right.
What's happening? I just learned something about myself. What's that? I'm gonna try picking up the pieces.
It's gonna take a lot of work.
Yeah, well, I think it's worth it. Pete, do you think I'm too old for that student loan? Hold up a minute. Where are we going? What's the rush?
Don't worry about it. You'll find out soon enough.
Here. I cancel this trip.
Well, the kids decided to have it anyway.
But you know I can't afford it. I'm a student now.
Hey, don't worry about a thing, Mr. Galvez. All the kids chipped in. And besides, I already got your stuff aboard.
Hey, Joe. Hey, we need someone officially connected to the school.
Right. See ya.
Yeah.
You know, with Manny gone, I wonder who's going to lead the field trip next year.
Miss McIntyre, I wish you hadn't asked that question.